One of the biggest lies that I've heard about confidence is that people are naturally confident or they're born with confidence per se. Obviously nobody's out the womb confident, but I feel like a lot of people believe that it's just a natural trait that people just have or they don't have, and that is completely false because confidence can be built in a lot of different ways over time. And once you actually understand where confidence comes from and what it actually is, you can intentionally build confidence into any part of your life. Now, confidence isn't just one thing. Confidence is not a personality trait. People can have varying, and people do have varying amounts of confidence in different parts of their lives. For example, you may have a big time CEO who is amazing at running a business, but maybe the CEO's personal life isn't up to par because socially they're not as confident when it comes to meeting new people, making friends, and just normal social interactions. That goes, I can name 100, 1,000 different examples when it comes to confidence in some areas and not the others, but I feel like you catch my drift when it comes to that. Now, one is repetition. When you've done something so many times, your subconscious mind starts to expect success when it comes to that activity. And it doesn't matter what the activity is. We can talk about something as simple as driving, for example. If you've been driving since we're 18 or 17 or whatever, and you're 30, 40, 50, you're most likely going to be fairly confident when it comes to the road. Compare that to a 16-year-old taking their driving or learner's permit test. It's two varying levels of confidence based off the repetition. When your subconscious mind expects success, you're automatically going to be confident in whatever category, whatever activity that is. And that's what I mentioned briefly in the previous video and what I'll be harping on moving forward. Expectancy is everything. So when you expect an ideal result is going to come. Now, I don't want to get into the rabbit hole of that specifically right now, but like I said, first thing is repetition. Now, the other way to instill confidence is simply faith. Now, you have to keep in mind, a lot of stuff I say can sound basic, maybe cliche, but when you start to call something cliche, you should actually pay a little bit more attention to it. So first repetition, second faith. My biggest breakthrough in life literally came over a summer when I started to put faith over fear. My faith simply became stronger than my fear. I've mentioned this before and I'll mention it plenty of times. Faith and fear uses the same muscle. You use the same energy with faith and fear. It's almost the same process. When you're not faithful, but when you have faith in something, you are expecting an ideal result. And when you're fearful of something, you're expecting a result that is not ideal, or you're expecting something to not go your way. And faith is the exact opposite. So it comes down to how you frame the certain situation. There's no need to really dig too deep into why you're scared of something or why you're not scared of something, why you have faith, because it's either you go one of two directions. So it's as simple as that. Confidence can come when you have faith in that certain activity or that certain category in your life over a long period of time. Now, the third way that confidence can come about in your life is through a transfer of belief, meaning if someone else has faith in you or believes in you and you don't believe in yourself, but you start to believe that person, that's where the confidence can show up. Me personally, I talked about my breakthrough through meditation and whatnot, but meditation was just a big component of how I became the person I am now, the confident being that I had no idea existed. This is where it came from for the most part, meditation. But I also had different conversations with very close people to me, specifically my brother, my only brother. We had a conversation. I still remember it to this day like it happened yesterday. I was walking throughout my campus just with my earbuds in, and I'm not sure what we were talking about, but I know I was struggling socially. I was struggling in every category. And he simply reminded me of, I don't know if it was my accolades or what, but I accomplished a lot to get to that point, walking on that college campus with the scholarship and, athletically, just my social circle. Like I experienced and accomplished a decent amount at that point to where it wouldn't really make sense for me to feel the way I felt at the time. And my brother simply reminded me of that. And it's like when he said whatever simple, I'm sure it was very simple. And I mean, obviously it's my only brother. We have a great relationship. So whatever he said was very profound to me. And it's like a light bulb just lit up in my head. And it's like, man, you're right. And that simple conversation changed the trajectory of a lot of different events that happened that year, which is crazy because it wasn't anything. I wish I had the conversation recorded to show you that it was probably some very basic back and forth that got me back on track. Now, this transfer belief, it's a normal circumstance in our everyday lives because you see mentors, coaches, teachers. Yes, a lot of these student-teacher relationships or dynamics are the teacher is educating the student on something. That's why they are the teacher. But there's also, it gets deeper than that. Teachers have a lot of authority. Coaches have a lot of authority to instill the confidence or take away the confidence of their pupil or mentee or whatever. Like it could go either way. So that is simply the transfer of belief. Now, the fourth way to instill confidence I'm going to mention in this video is through social proof. Now, what I mean by that is you've accomplished something in the public eye where people know that it's your accomplishment. No one can take that away from you. So it naturally gives you some type of confidence when you actually, let me take that back. It can naturally give you some type of confidence, or it could mean absolutely nothing to you. For example, you see a college athlete becoming an All-American and getting all the accolades in the world. People on campus know who that college athlete is. So therefore, a lot of people would assume that that college athlete would gain confidence from that situation. It doesn't always work out that way. Hence, I always bring up my story because when I make these videos, somebody in my audience or in my ideal audience will be the 19 or 18-year-old Alan that needed to hear this. He had a lot of accomplishments, All-American in college, and that meant nothing at all. So again, this is just a way to instill confidence or a way that confidence can pop up, but it doesn't always mean that is automatically going to happen just because you have social proof. Really, this is one of the, how can I say it? Out of the four ways that I mentioned, social proof will probably be on the lower tier of my list because the external world doesn't matter much at all. Now we can get to why most people lack confidence. And I don't necessarily think that it's a lack of confidence that we should harp on. It's more the fear of criticism, which I harped on last video. When it comes down to it, a lot of our confidence issues comes from us being afraid to put ourselves out there because we're afraid of what other people are going to say, going to react. In all reality, everybody is hyper focused on themselves, and the sooner that young people realize this, the more, and I say young people because a lot of the times when you talk to older people, they start to realize this. They're not worried about the little awkward interaction or how they did this little thing. If somebody over there is going to look at them, a lot of the times older people aren't worried about that. So that's why I said it's the sooner younger people realize this, the more free they will feel throughout their lives. I mean, it's a very powerful realization. It's a very powerful realization, and it can literally change the trajectory of your life in a positive direction. It did it to me big time, and it's continuing to open doors for me because I have certain interactions that there's no way I would have had, 10 years ago. Overall, just to wrap things up, confidence is not something that you wait for. Confidence is not something that you either naturally have or you don't. Confidence is something that you intentionally build in different categories of your lives. Now, you have to do a self-assessment. Self-assessments are one of the most crucial, probably the most crucial thing you can do when it comes to your self-development and just getting the edge on yourself every day and getting better. You have to know where you're coming from, where your starting point and your, I won't say ending point, but you have to know the goal achieved self, where you want to land in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, how you want to carry your life. So you have to intentionally seek out the parts in your life where you lack confidence and where you want to grow, the parts of your life where you're already doing well in that category, and really do a deep study of that. You have to study yourself in order to make any progress. You can watch 1,000 YouTube videos. If you don't study yourself, then it really is all pointless. Now, just remember, before I end this, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate every single person. I know my views may not be as high. This is a newer channel, but I really hope that I can affect just one person. Obviously, I want to have a domino effect and make the biggest impact I can while I'm still here. But if I can affect one person in one video that I made, and I did my job, I'll catch you with the next one.